Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel and to a new video where I'm sharing another what I eat in a day with some summery recipes. Today's video is kindly sponsored by My Vegan. I'll be sharing some of my favourites from them and how I use their ingredients in my day-to-day meals. Plus you can get 37% off everything with code Jess. So for breakfast this day, I made a yogurt bowl with toasted oats, chia and hemp seeds and fruit. First of all, I took the My Vegan chia seeds. Chia seeds are always more easily digested when soaked. So I took a tablespoon of these in a small bowl and then poured in 3 tablespoons of oat milk. Gave it a good stir and left that to rest for 15 minutes. Meanwhile, I toasted up some oats. I melted half a teaspoon of coconut oil in a frying pan and then I took half a cup of My Vegan's rolled oats and added those into the pan along with a small pinch of pink Himalayan salt and just kept them moving on a medium heat until they began to lightly toast. Once they've turned a nice golden colour and smelled toasty, I then poured in a splash of oat milk and just mixed that through, which just helps them to become nice and chewy. I then put some vanilla yogurt in a bowl. I used probably about a cup. And then I added in the toasted oats, followed by the chia seeds. By this point, they had soaked up all of the liquid and it becomes like a jelly consistency. I then took the My Vegan organic hemp super seeds and added in a tablespoon of those. Again, these are 100% natural and a good source of fibre and protein. I then mixed that all together really well to combine it into the yogurt. And once really well mixed, I then added some chopped strawberries on top, as well as some blueberries. I then also took some of My Vegan's organic cacao nibs and just sprinkled those over the top. This is like an overnight oats chia pudding hybrid without the overnight. A really good slow release energy, high protein breakfast with the My Vegan oats and chia and hemp seeds. Toasting the oats adds a really nice flavour. As I mentioned, adding a splash of milk in makes them slightly chewy. Usually I add in nut butter, which then makes them more of a crunchy, chewy texture. Really refreshing with the vanilla yogurt and the berries on top. And the cacao nibs are like nature's chocolate chips. They add a nice rich flavour and a bit of a crunch. So overall, this was a nice summery, filling breakfast bowl. For lunch, I made some spicy chickpea tuna toasts. I had already drained a can of chickpeas and so I just emptied those into a mixing bowl. I then used a fork to just mash the chickpeas up as much as I could until they looked more like this. I then do kind of half and half with 3 tablespoons of vegan mayonnaise and 3 tablespoons of vegan Greek yogurt. I next added in a finely chopped spring onion, 1 finely chopped stalk of celery, a small handful of chopped fresh coriander, half a red chilli which I'd finely diced, half a nori sheet chopped up into flakes, the zest of a lime, then the juice of half the lime. I then also added in a tablespoon of My Vegan's organic hemp seeds for some more protein, along with a teaspoon of soy sauce and then some cracked black pepper. I then just mixed that together to combine it all nicely and so that the mayonnaise and the yogurt were both well mixed through the other ingredients. I set that aside to slice up some bread. I think this was like a rye bread with sunflower, poppy and sesame seeds. And I just had 2 slices of that, popped those in the toaster to toast them up. Once they were done, I then piled the spicy chickpea tuna on top. I ended up using about half of this mixture and the other half I then used for another lunch during the week. I had sliced up half an avocado, so I placed that on top of both toasts, sprinkled over some dried red chilli flakes, I squeezed over the juice of the other half of the lime left over, and I added on some more coriander. I had those with some of the My Vegan popped protein crisps in the barbecue flavour. These are so unbelievably good for protein crisps. They have 11 grams of protein in a packet. They also come in a sweet chili flavour, and they're just so crunchy, very similar to lentil or quinoa chips in terms of texture, but these are made from soya. A really good protein snack on their own or to have with lunch. My chickpea tuna is something I make very regularly for lunch, but I recently decided to change it up with these Asian inspired flavours such as the chilli, coriander, lime and spring onion. Adds even more flavour to it and a kick of spice, and the half and half of the mayo and the yoghurt makes it a little less high in fat, and the yoghurt adds in some more protein as well as the My Vegan hemp seeds. Delicious on toast with the avocado, that's my favourite way to have it, but I also love it in a salad or just on top of a baked potato. In the afternoon, I had a cold brew. This has become my drink of the summer. This was Bird & Blend's jelly and ice cream loose leaf tea, and I just steep it in the cold brew bottle with oat milk in the fridge for 4 hours or overnight and enjoy it iced. This tea has coconut, strawberry, all of the flavours of jelly and ice cream in a milky iced tea. I had that with one of My Vegan's baked cookies. These come in 3 different flavours: salted caramel, chocolate chip and double chocolate. The double chocolate is my favourite. To me it's like a soft chocolate chewy brownie almost. It's chewy, it's rich, it's chocolatey with chocolate chips in there as well. And these have 13 grams of protein. Again, a good high protein snack or dessert, and I've heard they're amazing warmed up with some vegan ice cream on the top. For dinner, I made satay, tofu, chicken and vegetable noodles. I always start by chopping up my veggies so they're out of the way. I first took 3 cloves of garlic and just crushed, peeled and minced them up. I then trimmed and chopped up a red bell pepper, and I had 100 grams of baby corn, which I just halved. I put those to the side, then took a mixing bowl and an extra large block of extra firm tofu. I just tore off bite-sized chunks and added those into the mixing bowl. Then to that I sprinkled in a tablespoon of corn flour and a good pinch of pink Himalayan salt. I then just lightly tossed that together to get the tofu pieces well coated in the corn flour. I spread the tofu pieces out on a non-stick baking tray, made sure that they were well separated, and then I just sprayed on some oil and coated them evenly. I gave that a good shuffle. I had preheated my oven to 180 degrees Celsius, so then I placed that in the oven to bake for 25 minutes, and I just turned them over halfway through. Meanwhile, I heated a couple of tablespoons of oil in a large wok on a medium heat, and I first added in the minced garlic, added in the other half of the chopped red chilli left over from lunchtime, and I grated in a 6cm chunk of fresh ginger. I fried that off for a couple of minutes until it smelled lovely and fragrant, and then I added in 100 grams of shiitake mushrooms, which I just halved, and I fried those off until slightly golden in colour with the chilli, garlic and ginger. Next I added in the red pepper and the baby corn, mixed that through. Then I took My Vegan's all natural crunchy peanut butter. This is organic, free from palm oil, no added salt or sugar, and I took 1/4 cup of the peanut butter and added that into the pan with the veggies, followed by a can of full fat coconut milk. I then added in a tablespoon of rice wine vinegar, 2 tablespoons of soy sauce, a tablespoon of maple syrup and 2 tablespoons of sriracha, and I stirred that through the pan well, still on a medium-high heat, until the sauce thickened in consistency. I then added in 100 grams of mange tout and then removed the tofu chicken from the oven. At this point it should still be soft in the center but have a slight crisp to it on the outside. I added the tofu chicken into the pan as well and then stirred everything through really well. If you find the sauce to be too runny still after a while, you can always add in some corn flour slurry and stir continuously until it thickens up. While the beans were cooking through, I then put another pan of boiling water on and added in my noodles to cook for a good couple of minutes. And once they were done, I drained them off, rinsed them through and drained them again, and then I served the noodles up first. This would also be great with rice. And then on top of the noodles, I added the satay, tofu chicken and vegetables. You can mix the noodles through the sauce in the pan alternatively. I tend to just do this in the bowl before I eat it, or you can serve it separately. I added some sliced red onion on top and some sliced red chilli, then sprinkled on some sesame seeds and some fresh coriander. The My Vegan crunchy peanut butter in this dish works so well. It's flavorful, it's crunchy, it almost adds a creaminess paired with the coconut milk. The sauce overall is a little spicy from the sriracha. Then there's the flavours of the garlic and the ginger. The mushrooms are meaty. You've got the crunch from the red pepper, the baby corn and the mange tout, which are all just very lightly cooked through. Then the tofu chicken adds another texture. It's chewy and it takes on all of the flavours of the sauce. Paired with the noodles and topped with the red onion, the extra chilli, sesame, coriander and fresh lime juice squeezed over the top. It's such a beautiful combination of flavours. Then for dessert, I had earlier coated some strawberries in vanilla yogurt and I just frozen those for a couple of hours on some parchment paper. So I removed them from the freezer to thaw a little first. I then took my vegan's sea salt chocolate and I melted down 4 squares of that over a bain-marie and I just drizzled it over the top of the yogurt coated strawberries. The chocolate then sets immediately because of the frozen yogurt. I love this as a snack or as a dessert in the summer. Relatively healthy but refreshing as well. And that's it for another day on my plate. Don't forget to check out My Vegan and use my code for 37% off. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching and I will see you again soon. Bye!